Hi, hello, welcome back. My name is James Ariel, and I'm currently studying mental health nursing at the City University of London. And something has been bothering me for some time now. Also, I've got a background in technology as well. I've got an IT degree, and I came across a problem when I wanted to buy paracetamol at, at the supermarket. And I was told I can buy more than two packets of paracetamol. And I asked why, and they said, "What is the law? They can't do more than two paracetamol per transaction." And that dawned on me that, okay, if that law exists, that you can buy more than two paracetamol, um, that you can only buy just two paracetamol per one transaction, that means you can buy five packets of paracetamol or even 10, provided you split the transaction. And how does that prevent anyone who might fall victim of overdose if they really want to harm themselves and they want to just go out there and buy and hoard paracetamol and then take all tablets at once? So why the guideline from the Medicine and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency works in preventing people from buying more than two packets from the till, there is a fundamental flaw that you can go to one store. For example, you go to store A, you buy two packets. You go to store B and you buy another two packets. And you go to store C and you buy another two packets. And you go to store D and you buy another two packets. Or you can even buy you can buy more packets in the same shop, provided you do it in separate transaction. So how does that actually stop stockpiling an accidental or impulsive overdose? And I thought to myself, as an IT professional, and I've developed various systems, and I think, why can't the government or why can't the agency implement or encourage shops and supermarkets to implement a system whereby people can actually check their painkiller purchase history? And I developed this mobile app prototype, which I call DOPD, short form for Drug Overdose Prevention Database. Essentially, it's a database that just keeps track of anyone that has bought painkillers. Now, how does the system work? The system works in two different forms. There's a customer session and also for the store session. As a customer, everyone should be encouraged to register on the system, and they just provide the basic information: their first name, middle name, last name, date of birth, and maybe any form of the ID they have, maybe whether they have a driver's license or international passport. They just basic information. So which this information is mostly what we already give to social media companies anyway, and some other agencies, so it's not really intruding into somebody's privacy. And once you create your account, you are on the system, you've registered, and you've given the government or the agency access to be able to track how you buy your drug from the store pharmacy, especially painkillers. Because painkillers you can buy over the counter. Okay, things you can buy over the counter, there's no way it can be checked. But medicine that can only be prescribed, then that can be tracked from your GP. So the solution here is to provide the shop or the store or the pharmacy a system whereby they can register your drug purchases. So once you've registered as a customer here, you've entered into the database, and we can just check and say, all right, when you go to a store and buy buy a paracetamol, ibuprofen, aspirin, or any form of painkillers, what the store will need to do is to check your ID and just enter your ID number. So let's just assume this is your ID number, which is your passport or driver's license number, and they can select anyone you want to buy. If it's paracetamol, the maximum pack you can buy, and let's say you buy it in London, right? And the cashier name, let's say the cashier name is James, and let's say the employee number is 1234, 567. Now this information, once you've registered and you've bought this drug, this is recorded into the database. Now for somebody to go to another shop or try to buy another 2 sets from the same shop will not happen, because what each shop is going to do is they have to check your drug purchase history. Now your drug purchase history is just giving them an indication of the last time you bought the painkillers, where you bought it from, and the number of packets you bought and the date you bought it, and that's just basic information, so as to prevent anyone from stockpiling or mistakenly, trying to buy this form of painkiller to overdose. And we all know overdose will lead to death if it's not taken seriously. Now check drug purchase history. Or what the shop or the store will need to do is to check the ID number again, because you've already registered into the system, so they don't need to ask you your name, they just need to ask you for your ID, form of identification, what they usually ask for when you're buying things like tobacco or some items that really need to be regulated. Now let's assume you enter your ID and the cashier checks your ID and search the database. Now they can find your record and say, oh, you recently bought paracetamol at this also address, and you bought 2 packets, and the last date you bought that 2 packets of paracetamol was 13th of June, which was yesterday, for example. Now if I come to the shop and I want to buy another 2 packets today, and the store have this information, they can better make an informed decision and ask, why do you need more painkillers? Because you already have 2 packets. You've not even finished using these 2 packets and you want more again. Is there any reason why you need to buy more? And I believe this sort of system would help prevent stockpiling and overdosing. Now a lot of people might say, oh, it's my right to buy the number of paracetamol I want to buy. Yes, it's your right to get a pain relief, but we should all encourage ourselves not to have a right to overdose and kill ourselves at the same time. So if you bought this painkiller and you bought it yesterday, 12th of June 2022, then the shop should not be able to sell to you. And if you go to any other shop as well, they should always check for your ID and check your system and check your record to make sure that, okay, you cannot buy, because currently people can still buy. So I feel that the best practice of while this works, that you cannot buy more than 2 packets in one transaction, it doesn't really prevent anybody from buying 10 packets. All they just need to do is just to split the transaction and they can still buy 10 packets. But why would one need 10 packets of paracetamol? Do they have a shop or a local store that they want to resell this product? Are they buying it for that purpose? Are they buying it as an individual? Now, this guideline does not really answer those questions. And you can have as much as training for the staff on restriction, but customers who want to stockpile with the aim of overdosing themselves accidentally, they will still get around these guidelines and still go ahead and stockpile and buy more of these painkillers, which we know is dangerous. So I feel this mobile app prototype should be considered. There should be a consultation whether shops can consider if they can implement such a system in order to help safeguard the lives of people who die every year as a result of drug overdose. One life lost as a result of drug overdose is too many. So we should not say because millions are now dying, then it's not a reason for concern. Even if one person died of drug overdose, it's a concern for the society. It's a loss for their families and friends and relatives. And I feel a system like the Drug Overdose Prevention Database could help enhance the guideline that has been set already in order to prevent drug overdose. If you have any question regarding how this app work, feel free to get back to me and I'll be glad to respond to you as I can. Thank you very much. Bye for now.